Big story 16 years ago, a little girl disappearing in Portugal. Now a woman is claiming on social media she is the missing British toddler Madeleine McCann. We have a picture of who claims to be a 21-year-old Julia Faustina of Poland. She became wildly popular on social media this month when she started posting on Instagram under the handle I am Madeleine McCann. Just this week, she just suggested that Kate and Jerry McCann agreed to take a DNA test. But is this a solved mystery, or is this an imposter? Let's bring in forensic psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Bober. Dr. Bober, thank you for being with me right now. McCann's parents, really, they want her to take the DNA test, it sounds like, versus them providing her with any data. First, what are the chances that something like this could actually happen?
Well, listen, most things are possible, right? And this story is filled with sensationalism and wild speculation. But my question is, let's not forget, two parents lost their child. So if I'm Julia Faustina, why wouldn't I contact them privately? Or why wouldn't I call Scotland Yard or some police department and do it anonymously? Why would I post it all over social media? So I question her motivations. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not McCann, but it certainly casts doubt on it.
And, you know, could it be a result of the trauma that she faced? Apparently, I'm reading reports that she doesn't remember any of her childhood, which is kind of dubious, but could certainly be the case if somebody had gone through extreme torment or mental anguish or emotional sadness.
Absolutely. Dissociative amnesia is a real phenomenon, and there's MRI evidence to back that up. People who go through serious trauma can have repressed memories because the memories are so overwhelming and so painful that the mind actually disconnects from them, and so they lose whole swaths of their past. It is certainly possible. But then on the other side of the camp, there's something called false or delayed memories, because we know that memory is notoriously unreliable and suggestible. So there have been studies in labs where people have been told things that they then said were memories. So it doesn't mean the trauma did not in fact occur, but it just means that these memories are very unreliable.
And in this world of social media, it's like you have to kind of create your own new vein of psychiatric study, where people normally do things online that they wouldn't do in person, or where they do things that they would do privately that they are now doing publicly. So the fact that she, as you mentioned at the top of this interview, posted this with the handle I am Madeleine McCann without privately going to the parents could be speculative, or it could be part of her generation, part of the Gen Z theme.
It could be, but again, there has to be a degree of sensitivity. I mean, we're talking about a lost or lost child or the death of a child. So yes, it's possible it could be generational. But again, if it were me, just out of a sense of decency, and I really believe that I was McCann, I would try to contact the the parents rather, in private, rather than do it so publicly, which to me seems very attention-seeking and self-serving.
Yeah, and potentially disingenuous. What would you tell the parents right now, just from a psychiatric standpoint, in preparing themselves for what the DNA test could show?
I would say for them to keep their expectations low and not to have false hope. The DNA test certainly would tie this up and solve, the question. We know that DNA testing is 99.99% reliable. Your DNA is a contribution of both your parents, and their results can come back in a matter of days or weeks, depending on the lab. So I think DNA testing would solve this problem once and for all and give us the answers that we're all looking for, but especially her parents.
Absolutely. Dr. Daniel Bober, thank you very much.